Hello everyone, welcome to TechnoSapiens. In this video, I am going to solve a question based on the design of welded connections subjected to bending moment. In case you haven't watched my lecture on the design of welded connections subjected to bending moment, you can click on the link at the top right corner and first of all watch that. Let's start with the problem on the design of welded connections subjected to bending moment. In this question, it is given that a beam of rectangular cross section is welded to a support by means of fillet welds as shown in figure. Determine the size of the weld is asked. Determine the size of the weld if the permissible shear stress in the weld is limited to 75 Newton per mm square or 75 megapascal. So this is the allowable or the permissible shear stress which is given to you in the question, and you have to find out the size of the weld. Now first of all, let's see that where the load is acting. The load is acting at with some eccentricity which is equal to 500 mm for this question, and the magnitude of the load is 25 kilo newtons. Now you can see that since the load is basically out of the plane of the welds, it is not in the same plane as that of the weld. That's why when you are going to bring this load from this point to the center of gravity of the welds, there will be a bending moment induced, and this bending moment will in turn induce the bending stresses inside the weld. Bending stresses. So you can see that it's very important to first of all identify the category of the question. Since the load is out of the plane, that's why I'm saying that because of this bending moment there will be bending stresses. Had it been in the same plane as that of the weld, there will be secondary shear stress induced in the weld. Anyhow, for this question there will be bending stresses because of this bending moment, and because of this load acting at the center of gravity there will be primary shear stresses. So first of all, let's calculate what is the value of primary shear stress. Your primary shear stress will be equal to the load divided by the total area of the weld. Now there are 4 welds. This weld 1 and weld 2 are of same length. Similarly, weld 3 and weld 4 are of similar length. So the total area will be equal to 2 multiplied by the area of the first weld plus 2 multiplied by the area of the third weld, because third and the fourth weld has same area. So this will be equal to 2 multiplied by the area of the first weld, which is 100 multiplied by T, plus the area of the third weld, which is T multiplied by 150. Now T, as you all know, is the throat length. Now this complete expression will be equal to 500 T mm square. So this is the total area of all the welds. Now you know what is your load, that is 25,000. So your primary shear stress will be equal to 25,000 divided by 500 T. This will be equal to 50 divided by T Newton per mm square. So we have till now we have already calculated what is primary shear stress. Now the next thing is to calculate the bending stresses because of this bending moment. For that I have enlarged this cross-sectional area over here. You can see it over here, where this is your x-axis and this is your y-axis, X and Y axes are basically passing through the centroidal axis of all the welds, combined centroid of all the welds. T is the throat distance, and this distance is your T. This distance over here is your D, and this is your B. B is equal, given in the question, is equal to 100 mm, and D as given in the question is equal to 150 mm. Now, in order for us to calculate the bending stresses, just a minute. In order for us to calculate the bending stresses, we should know what is the bending moment and what is the distance y, or the distance from the neutral axis, divided by the second moment of area, Ixx. Now, first of all, let's calculate what is the bending moment. It is equal to the load multiplied by the eccentricity. Load as given in the question is 25,000, and your eccentricity is 500. Your eccentricity is 500. So your bending moment is equal to 125, 0, 0, 0, and then again 2 more zeros. So this is the value of your bending moment, and the unit is Newton mm. Okay. Now the next thing is y. So as you can see that this is the distance from the neutral axis, because the bending moment is acting about x-axis. So this is the distance from the neutral axis, which will be equal to 150 divided by 2. So this will be equal to 75 mm. 150 because the total length of this distance is 150, and this is your centroidal axis. So this length will be half of the total length, which will be equal to 75 mm. Now the last thing which we have to calculate is the second moment of area, Ixx. For that, let me bring this figure over here. So your Ixx1 is basically the second moment of area of this weld plus this weld. Since the area of all of these two welds are same, and these two welds are equidistant from this x-axis, that's why the second moment of area for this weld will be equal to the second moment of area of this weld. So we can say that it will be equal to 2 times the second moment of area of the first weld. And what is the second moment of area of the first weld? It is equal to B T cube upon 12. This is basically the value of the second moment of area about its own centroidal axis, but we need to find it about the x-axis. So we have to use the parallel axis theorem. For that, we need to know the perpendicular distances between these two axes, which is equal to 75, plus the area of the weld multiplied by r square, where r square is the distance between the centroidal axis of this weld and the x-axis. So this will be equal to 2 times B T cube upon 12 plus what is A is 100 times T multiplied by 75 square. Okay, so this is your second moment of area for first and second weld. Similarly, for the third and the fourth weld, the second moment of area will be equal because the area of these two welds are equal, and it will already be about x-axis because the centroidal axis of these two welds is coinciding with the x-axis of our Cartesian coordinate system. So again I'm going to multiply it by 2 because it will be same for these two welds, and it will be equal to T d cube upon 12. Okay, so the total moment, second moment of area will be equal to Ixx1 plus Ixx2. So this will be equal to 2 times, since we are having 2 over here and here as well. So I will take this 2 as common, multiplied by bt cube upon 12. So what we will do, as I told you, this t is a very small quantity. This t is a very small quantity, and the cube of this quantity will be even smaller. That's why we are going to neglect this term bt cube by 12 for the ease of calculation. Okay, so what we will do, we will only take 100 t multiplied by 75 square. This is for the first and the second weld, and then td cube upon 12. What is t? T is unknown. And what is d? D is 150 as given to you in the question, cube upon 12. So this is how you are going to calculate the total second moment of area combined for all the welds about x-axis. Now once you have all the values, you can very easily find out what is the bending stresses which are developed in the weld. This will be equal to mb multiplied by y is the distance from the neutral axis, divided by Ixx. Once you have the bending moment, you have already calculated, once you have the bending stresses, you have already calculated what are the primary shear stresses. So with the help of these two values, you can very easily find out what is the resultant shear stress developed inside the weld. This will be equal to sigma b upon 2, sigma b, where sigma b is the bending stress, whole square, plus tau 1 whole square, and you will equate this value to the permissible shear stress given to you in the question as 75. So these terms will be basically these terms will be in terms, these values will be in terms of t. So from this complete equation you can find out what is the value of t or the size of the weld. The correct answer for this question is 3.76 mm. The size of the weld is 3.76 mm. So that's how you are going to solve the problems based on the design of the welded joint subjected to bending moment. In case the cross-sectional area of this cantilever beam is circular, you have to find out the second moment of area in a slightly different manner, and for that I have explained this thing in my previous video. You can find the link at the top right corner for that video. You can clarify your doubts from that video. And thank you for watching this lecture so patiently. In case you have any doubts, always feel free to contact me and clear your doubts as soon as possible. Thank you.